Oh, I think it's recording. Oh my God. What's up, guys? Oh, my glasses are crooked. Um, this will probably be dropping on the 30th tonight. I am heartbroken over my favorite college football team, USC, losing their bowl game today to TCU. It just happened right now. So we're drinking a little bit of the sorrows away. Not gonna smoke bud. Um, but yeah. Well, we are here today. Hopefully this thing's not too loud. Maybe I'll turn down just a little bit. We're here talking about my top albums of the year. Top albums I suggest that you guys listen to, check out if you missed these. So I think we're just gonna jump straight into it. Yeah. This year to me, um, let's see if I can do this. Was a great year in music. So um let's share it and then also I can beat it. Hopefully this works. Hopefully this is working. Is this working? You guys are gonna see my albums. Oh, okay, we're going. So yeah, my favorite albums of 2025. I think my opinion on music this year has I think been through the whole emotional roller coaster of having things that have really hit, have things that I've really hated. It's had things that I found okay, and I found things um that really, blew my mind or I thought were just super cool, but maybe not like necessarily my favorite album, but were super cool. And for this list, we're kind of get the first two albums for me that are one and two or two and one. They can be flipped. And we're going straight into it. My top two albums of the year. We got Geese Getting Killed, Navy Blue, The Sword, and The Soaring. Um, there's not a lot to talk about these. These albums to me are going to be on everyone's list, I think, for the most part. I'm pretty sure Geese is going to be on a lot of people's album of the year. And Navy Blue, yeah, I think Navy Blue is also going to be on people's list, like the internet nerds or people who are habitually online listening to music. I think these two albums for sure are going to be on people's list. I won't speak a lot about these two albums, but Geese Navy Blue. Quick words. I think both great songwriting. I think in a way they both have great musical elements in it that I really like. And yeah, I think Cameron Winters and Navy Blue are just great lyricists, and I think that's what really pushes these albums. And not to take, I think Cameron Winters is getting sucked up a lot right now in the media, on the internet, which he rightfully deserves. But I mean, also shout out all the other amazing, talented musicians in Geese, and yeah, also shout out Navy Blue, beautiful person, beautiful soul. Geese, Navy Blue. If you haven't listened to these yet, I don't know what's wrong with you, but check these out. But here, so before I should have said stuff before I moved on. Let me spark up first. Maybe I'm yapping a little too fast. Let me slow down. Of course, I lost the lighter. Whoa, whoa. I first want to get this off my chest. I am so disappointed in USC. Not necessarily the year, but this bowl game. Oh man, I'm thinking in the future of MGM, we might have a couple sports podcasts or people come on here and talk about sports once in a while. I think um, to me, sports have been really big in my life, and I think it's part of media. And just how we think music and movies are very important, I also think sports is very important. So things to look forward in 2026. But now here are three albums that I won't say. I don't think they ever competed for my favorite albums of the year, but I will say these three albums are really fun, a great listen to, and I think are just good albums. Not everything's gonna be great, and not everything's obviously bad, but I think these are just great, solid albums that came out this year that I loved a lot, and I spend a lot of time listening to. So first one we have on here is Alchemist and Hit Boy, Goldfish. what can we really say about these two amazing producers that are on a generational run, I could say. No one works harder than these two guys. And yeah, I mean, Alchemist and Hit Boy, they come on here to collab on beats and rap. And rapping is really nothing new to these guys, especially the Alchemist. That's I think how he initially came up in hip hop. And yeah, I think the album is a little too long. Um, if it was only like 10 tracks, I think it would be almost a perfect album actually, and I would really have it higher on my list of albums I liked. But I think Alchemist and Hit Boy come together with this piece of I just think raw talent and just so much soul emotion. I really like I truly feel like, some of these songs are really coming from the soul, the songwriting. And I do think in more of the Alchemist case where the flow isn't the always the best, I still do like Alchemist rapping. I even like the flows to an extent, maybe because it feels a little bit more accessible, like in a sense that I could rap like that in a way if I ever wanted to rap, but I think that's why I kind of like it. It's like easy to see or rap along and say a line. And I think Hit Boy is also just actually just an amazing rapper. I think Hit Boy has a great tone in his voice, and I think he has great control and great flow. So yeah, Alchemist and Hit Boy, Goldfish, they saved up some fire beats for this. Let me see. I'll pull out the set list. Um, I always get nervous when I go on here and I always forget what I was talking about. So yeah, I think it starts off strong. I really think it starts off with "Do My Best" and "Business Merger," "Show Me My Way," "Mickey Cooley" with Conway the Machine, "Ask for Me," Ricky, boom, and I think those are 6 songs right there that are just straight heat and fire, good beats and good bars. And then I especially love Ricky and how the Alchemist and Hit Boy talk about their differences growing up and what um, the Alchemist talking about how he had 2 parents and he thought everything was good, but in reality, there's some stuff that he didn't really know about, and how Hit Boy, he wants that 2 parent household, and I just think it's like a story of both sides that you don't necessarily always see in one song, and when you do, it's like trash. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I don't know. I can't really think of a song that does that and really in a good way that talks about both sides right now off the top of my head. I can only, the thing I could kind of think of that's like not really the same, but it was when like um I don't know. This that shitty Chris Brown and Little Dicky where they like switch bodies and they I don't know what the fucking they're talking about people's different point of views and it's just trash. So and then Groupie Love's a crazy track. It's really weird, but not the best. I don't think it's the super best track, but I think my favorite track and favorite beat right here is Celebration Moments with Havoc. Um, yeah, Havoc does the chorus on this track, and yeah, it's Celebration Moments. They want it now. They want that fucking crown, and I think these guys, they might not have it necessarily in a mainstream way, but to me, they have it in a hardworking way, and they really grind. So I'm gonna stop sucking this album. Just check it out. Good beats, some good bars here and there. Alchemist, Hit Boy, Goldfish. Oh, boom. Black Country, New Road, Forever, How Long. Oh man. Now this is a great album that I think doesn't hit as much. And I can't even really say this if this is really true. What I'm about to say is really true over in like the UK, I think where they're from, or just whatever. I think this album isn't really achieving that much. Maybe this is just I don't know even how I'm trying to think of the best way to say this. The new Geese album I think has taken a whole moment. It's created a whole moment right now. Especially online. Obviously, I'm not in New York or I'm not in big cities necessarily where I could tell, but people around me love Geese and they keep sucking that album up, and there's memes about it, and it's very people's list already that quick when it came out, and I think. um it's really that because it's maybe I'm talking about this, but this is it's really more American. And I think here in America, I you don't see how big Black Country New Road is or how great they are sometimes because I think they are maybe a little bit of a super Britishy. And I kind of think I almost mean that like in melody wise and styles, where it's just some of it's just super Britishy. I mean, they're a British band. Black Country New Road. Love this album. Forever How Long. So sorry if that opinion doesn't make any sense or it's dumb or but I truly think some people, great artists from overseas, don't get as much love as they do here in the States because they're not as American. And maybe that is definitely our fault as a society or whatever. But yeah, so what do I want to talk about this album? Black Country New Road. This is an album where, they don't have their singer no more, Isaac. He left. And that album they have Isaac, there's like two of them I'm thinking of. Those are great work. Those are amazing works. Those are on list of albums that people love of that year. And I think people are wondering what were they gonna do. And I think they achieved. I don't think they achieved. I don't know if like my favorite Black Country New Road isn't on this album, but I think they achieved where like if someone, you know, their lead singer leaves the band and they keep going with the same name and they achieve it. Like they achieve being their own thing, being better, making great albums still. And I think, it's led by three women now. Sorry if I get some names wrong. Taylor Hyde, Georgia Ellery, and May Kershaw. They each take turns singing on this album. And yeah, I think this is just a beautiful album. There's great songs written. I think everyone does great musicianship. And yeah, I think, Black Country New Road, Forever How Long. If you want something that's like just super like I don't even know how to say it, grand and music and just awesomeness, I guess just like great songwriting and like you hear some strings and you hear some of those harpsichord or whatever those weird piano sounds are. Yeah, Black Country New Road, Besties, Happy Birthday, For the Country Cold, Nancy Tries to Take the Night, the song, the title track, Forever How Long, Salem Sisters, Two Horses, The Big Spin, 11 songs, 52 minutes, Ninja Tune. I recommend a lot of artists off of Ninja Tune. And yeah, if you guys want to hear people playing their instruments really well, great melodies, great singing, some experimental, little chamber, little all of it. Black Country New Road, Forever How Long. Oh yeah. All right, next album. We're gonna chill. This might be a fast ass video, and I'm sorry about that, guys. Um, quickly. I heard the noise, and yeah. What to say about quickly? I heard the noise. I found out that quickly. Um, I first listened to some of his beats that came out. Quickly is like one guy. I think I think his name's Graham. Am I tripping? Let me see. But I heard of quickly when he was releasing like, you know, more like beats and stuff. Um, yeah, Graham is quickly, and I heard that noise, and quickly had an album that came out a couple years before this. What was it called? There's an EP before this, but the long and the short. No, yeah, I think so. Whatever. Quickly. indie pop, indie rock, jazz. If you like um early guys like Bon Iver, or if you like Phil Elverum, obviously this is very a Phil Elverum inspired album. I could kind of hear that. There's If you like a little bit of some McGee, little Dijon here and there. Um, but yeah, I think quickly, I Heard the Noise is a great album. Let me say this album is super textured heavy. I will say I might not love every song on this album, but what I really get out of this album is just like the recordings of like the production, in the sense of like all the textures, the use of saturation. I think like the the ways like the music collides with other parts that's going on in the song and making it all work, and some of it feels a little chaotic. And yeah, the drum sounds, the guitar sounds. To me, I really like it. I mean, it's a little lo-fi, but it's got like just the things you love in a bedroom album. Like it goes beyond the bedroom, where it feels like a whole world of texture and sound and even colors. Like this is to me a very colorful album, and I really like this album for that reason. And the instrumentations, I think this is Graham's best job singing compared to last album. I think he's definitely gotten better as a singer, and the songwriting has gotten good. Um, I think the only thing and this is on my part because I am a Dublin American, and I think this year, I think because we've been super busy this year as a channel, as friends, shows, music, everything. Trying to consume so much that I feel like when I first sat down and I listened to stuff and it just didn't catch my ear right away, or I didn't just think it was catchy, or just whatever, like it just wasn't hitting the right way. I just kind of moved on quickly, quickly they would say. Um, but I think this album, like, it doesn't really need that. This album's like just something you poured on. This is definitely a Pacific Northwest type of album. It's very moody too. Um, and I think there's some catchy parts when I went back to and I would do everything for you. Take it from me. I sang that other song wrong, but Take It From Me is a great song. Anything. Um, I Punch to the Wall, Raven. Those are all great songs. It's only 42 minutes, 11 songs. Came out in April. Yeah, yeah. I love this song, I love this album. So what I get from these three albums, here's my little breakdown again, because I'm a little nervous right now on the video. My glasses have been messed up a little bit, but we're gonna do it. The Alchemist, Hit Boy, Goldfish. You want to put some lifestyle bars on? You want to hear some good beats? Some guys trying to rap their ass off? This is the album. You trying to hear something super melodic, something super beautiful, orchestral, grand, as I keep saying. That's what I hear from it, like grandireness. Um, and like great writing. If you want to like break down writing, this is a good album right here. Black Country New Road. And if you want to hear something super textured in the indie world right now, that's like, a lot of people are kind of doing that right now. They're doing a lot more like, I would say more like lo-fi texture things. This is one of them. Quickly, I Heard That Noise. I think this is a great album too. And I love this album cover with the dogs and the fucking red houses or barns in the back. But yeah, you got bars. So on this list, you got some bars. You got some like iconic, like classic songs on that Black Country New Road that I think will be like super refreshing still in like 10 years. Like deep. Beatle cuts that you're like, oh yeah. And quickly, I think like if you're a lo-fi bedroom like indie person or any type of bedroom artist, and you're like, ooh, like, oh, this is an album you can sit down and be like, oh, how can I recreate that? And I think that's what I get from this album a lot too. So yeah, and my top two albums of the year, Geese, Getting Killed, Navy Blue. I also want to shout out my albums I had. I I'm not doing no post editing, so I will not put my photos in here, but I might put the links to it. Um, yeah. My favorite albums I've made so far, Magic and Recent Memory. Check those two out. Also, I want to thank you guys for a great year. We're up here. I think we're at 184, 185 subscribers. So that has been amazing. We're at 185. Thank you everyone who's been here since last year, or if you're new this year. The goal for next year. Obviously, the big goal would be 1,000 next year. Let's get up to 1,000. So please send this to friends and family. But I would just be happy if uh, there's five new people next year. I appreciate everyone who watches, who are friends with us in real life, or who just watch us here online. I'm not sure if there's anyone like that yet. But if they are, we really appreciate you guys too. Um, it's been a good ride with the team we've built here at Modern Girl now with some great friends I have, and I couldn't do it without them. I couldn't do it without my family, and yeah, I couldn't do it without any of you guys who subscribe and like, or who come out to a show, or who just fucks with the reels or the TikToks and just likes it. So, you know, we have a lot of goals for next year. We still got some new videos that are going to try to be making late night pushes to come out that first week of January that we should have got done this year. That are mostly my fault. Uh, but yeah, we made it this far. Another year coming up, and we're just excited. Modern Girl Forever. If you have a drink, a beer, a water, a kombucha, sparkling water, anything, Coke, a Coke Zero. Cheers to you guys. You made it this far. Be proud of yourself. I love you. Everyone from the MGM team, they love you. MGM forever. And thank you guys. Really appreciate it. And that is the end of this episode. But now I'm struggling. All right, guys. Thank you. Top albums of the year. Check them out. I'll have everything listed in the bio. Appreciate you guys. Adios. Whoa.